Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to show you this eGrad crypto. I think we've pulled back on XRP somewhere in the 59-cent range. I want you to zero in on what he says last here more than anything. Ignore the fluctuations of 5 cents down, 10 cents up. Anything below $1 is a lifetime opportunity, and this is where I sit. Okay, check this out. BitMax. Ready for this? Tomorrow, two new tokens are coming to BitMax. Spot XRP. My question is, why in the world did it take this long? I need to plug my phone in, by the way. Why in the world did it take this long, BitMax? I don't get it. Brian Costello, Gary Gensler is blatantly avoiding investigations of egregious frauds in the U.S. capital markets by executives from China. Patrick McHenry, Sherrod Brown, Elizabeth Warren are in bipartisan lockstep, letting him do it. Their purposeful inaction betrays America, favoring political donors' financial interests aligned with China. I agree. Now, Meta Lawman, this is about Gary Gensler's SEC being sanctioned by the courts. He says this is as bad as it gets for lawyers. Thus, in its opposition, the commission not only exacerbated its misconduct from the TRO hearing by seeking to affirm and reiterate the false statement it had previously made, a statement it knew was false from the time it made it. This is in court, folks, and failed to correct it. But it engaged in further misconduct by communicating an additional false and misleading statement to the court after being confronted with irrefutable evidence of its error. This is my stance. Let me translate. We have a liar as a chairman of the SEC, not just a liar, but a liar who is willing to do so in federal court. Justice must involve holding Gary Gensler personally responsible for his actions. And let's not forget that Russian dossier. Here it is again. When you appoint a known liar to the head of the SEC, don't be surprised when he's willing to lie in federal court to a judge. It's time to hold him individually accountable. Remember this?
Hey, real quick, last question. I think it might have came up. You were Hillary Clinton's CFO in the campaign, right?
It's part of my history.
Were you? Yes or no?
In 2016.
Did you facilitate the payment for the Steele dossier since you were CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
That was not.
You're under oath, Chairman Gensler. Yes or no?
I know. I was not something I was aware of.
I yield back the rest of my time. Thank you, Chairman. Hey, real.
Unbelievable that these people are in our government. Here's one. This is Mark Andreessen, you know, the guy that founded Netflix. Here, first listen to what he says here, and then I'll show you how he contradicted his own words. He owns Andreessen, or he is the founder of Andreessen Horowitz, a venture capital firm.
And it's the compact between the entrepreneur and the venture capitalist that most venture capitalists take very seriously, which is if I bet on your company, I'm not going to also back one of your competitors, and I think that's generally widely accepted. And so,
well, if it's generally widely accepted, Mark Andreessen, I said, hey Mark, didn't you flush this compact down the toilet when Jay Clayton met with Chris Dixon at your office on January 25th? 2018 and initiated what became the Ethereum free pass speech because you were invested in the Ethereum guys or the Ethereum tokens. You were invested in probably some of the companies around it, and you didn't even tell Ripple that you were going to be meeting with the SEC behind closed doors. Your people, including Scott Cooper and a few others, were meeting with the SEC and your attorney Lowell Ness only had Ethereum in his in the documents that were submitted to the SEC to try to get Bitcoin and Ethereum a free pass. Only Ethereum was named. You knew it. And Ripple was one of your companies you were invested in. You didn't even allow them to know about the meetings or be in the SEC meetings. And here's the timeline. I provided the timeline for him. There it is. January 25th, Jay Clayton meeting with Andreessen Horowitz. At this meeting, Clayton appoints Chris Dixon to get industry players together, requests a memo detailing framework. And then his attorney, Andreessen Horowitz's attorney, Lowell Ness, is the one that wrote the memo and only included Ethereum in it. And this is his venture capital compact that he says he's got. Ripple, the winner of the 2024 FinTech Breakthrough Award for Best Cross-Border Payments Platform. Can't argue with that. Look, Brad Garlinghouse has a stellar, what do they call those things? Placard? What are the things around your neck? He's where Stellar was one of their sponsors. When you go to these conferences, you literally, like Stellar in this case, paid to be the sponsor that sponsored that thing around everybody's neck. I don't think Brad Garlinghouse really had a choice as to whether to wear that. Now, this clip right here is the clip that has probably set XRP army or XRP community on fire. This guy says refers in this, says XRP is like a stable coin. What?
Around which platform / rail / asset becomes the one?
I don't think there'll be only one, but it's very clear that for me the direction of travel, the stable coins, and I do think that using XRP and the Ripple network has very strong use cases as well. Arguably, XRP is a type of stable coin in itself as well. But so the reason I'm excited about that, stable coins in general, is because they fulfill, for me, the two most important characteristics. One is the stability, hence the name, of money, and the other is the efficiency of transfer of money. And the stability you get from the design of the stablecoin. Not all stablecoins are designed appropriately, and certainly those that will be used for real world payments, they will encumber regulators who will want to understand the notion of singularity of money, i.e. can it be transferred one to one, and that will depend on what are the backing assets, etc. But nonetheless, they have the capabilities of being stable. And then the other aspect is the efficient transfer. Efficiency comes not only from the blockchain aspects that we've spoken about before in terms of settlement times and gas costs and things like that, but also because of liquidity, right? I mean, you need the liquid stablecoin out there. That's where payments and capital markets come together to provide that liquidity. But it also means that you do need on and off ramps to function beautifully. It means that you need various use cases that keep that volume of the stablecoin moving in the market. It is very telling that stablecoins in aggregate are only something like 10% of the market cap of crypto, but 70% of volume. And for me, that means that they are flowing around the system, not just to support capital markets payments, but also to support these type of real world payments that we've spoken about before. So I'm a big bull on that, and I think regulation is going the right direction. I mean, since the days when I started looking at this of Libra 2019, we've moved on massively in regulation terms. MiCA didn't exist, for example, and several countries now, whether it's Singapore, Japan, in the Middle East, the UK, God forbid, and the US even, have come through with certain indications of what it means to issue a stablecoin, who can issue stablecoin, how do we build that trust in that stablecoin. So I think technology, I think regulation and liquidity are all coming together, so it's a really exciting time, and has been only happening over the last 12 to 18 months really on the stablecoin side.
Folks, to right now, everybody, anytime you've heard of stable coins, everybody thinks of them in terms of like a Tether or USDC. They're stable in that they don't move down or they don't move up. But actually, there's a stable could also mean stable floor. I mean, when I think of a floor, like when you walk into an old house with creaky floors that they have to go in and they have to go check to make sure that the floors are stable. That stability is referring to you not falling through the floor. It's not referring to how whether and how far you can go up. And that's what people aren't thinking about. I think that they're dancing around the potential of something. I've always thought that when utility kicks in, XRP would be like a bathtub of water that's filling up, and it would have a stable and or rising base, okay? But it's not going to go down, but it'll be a stable, slowly rising base. And then speculators would dive in, once they realized it, if they could get it, that is, if they could get it, don't forget that. If they could get it, they would come flying in. I believe that's where this all goes, is to a place where you won't be able to get it. Or at least retail won't be able to get it. Smoke, he's on top of it as usual. Looks like there's something to XRP being stable for this long over the years. When its value is truly realized, it wouldn't be beneficial to any party. Use a volatile currency to handle cross-border transactions, but they would have no problem if it was a slow rising floor. Banks seem to like Ripple. The main purpose of the Ripple platform is to move lots of money around the world as rapidly as possible. Thus far, Ripple has been stable since its release, with over 35 million transactions processed without issue. The definition of stability. Look, this is from Cowboy Crypto, who's the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Look what he said.
That in seconds it won't move as much. And the friction will be that you have to sell dollars to buy XRP and then sell XRP to buy peso, or you can interpose any bridge currency. One of the most significant opportunities for stable value tokens that we'll talk about in a few classes is what we can call it as a bridge currency for cross-border.
And then here's Smoke. The era of institutional adoption is upon us. Is it clear yet? Look at this. Digital assets are the first genuinely new asset class in the last 150 years. It inherits the most transformative potential across finance, tech, and social after the invention of the internet, and institutions are waking up to the fact. We expect 2024 to shift up gears in institutional adoption of digital assets, and here's why. Then we have this from the Digital Asset Summit.
The Digital Asset Summit 2024.
I'm going to slightly restate your question. So why are blockchains well suited to solve pain points in payments? And so look, I start with blockchains are global networks out of the gate, right? And some of them are very efficient. So for example, the XRP ledger, which we work with, has been facilitating value transfer in 3 to 5 seconds consistently throughout a period of almost 12 years at a fraction of a cent, right? Without any security incidents on the network. And so basically the way how Ripple's solution works is it's integrating with XRP, the digital asset, and basically an application layer that then facilitates cross-border payments fiat to fiat instantly in real time with real-time tracking bridged by this digital asset. That the underlying network is just like highly efficient to facilitate that. And so the other massive pain point that's being relieved on that is that there's no need for pre-funding and it's available 24/7. And look, I mean, the traction speaks for itself. We have hundreds of customers in like 55 countries using this on a daily basis. Again, billions of dollars every year. And, it's more often than not actually hard to meet the whole demand we're seeing. And so, look, we're excited to continue to innovate. How can we insert more blockchain technology and take this from the billions into the trillions?
Now, in DAIXRP.com, I'm going to show you something fascinating. I showed you a week or two ago that there were 3 or 4 videos on X that were being censored because of the reference to the Comex 589 rule and the gold and precious metals price manipulation across in the West, in the United States. Okay, now, but here's what that discussion, this is just another example I'll show you right here. This guy's tweeting out a video with Andy Scheckman in it where they're talking about Comex silver and gold price manipulation. And look at this, the video's been deleted from YouTube. It's gone. Okay? Now, so what's relevant about this? Here's what's relevant. I believe that there are several parts to the recipe of manipulation that the United States and the West has had to do to prop up the fake fiat system. One of them is this. That's why they're censoring videos about Comex 589 and precious metals manipulation. They have to manipulate it to give the appearance of a healthy fiat-based market. Okay? Well, what else would they also have to manipulate? Well, first thing they would have to do is they want all eyes on, they want to soak up the inflation. I believe that's what Bitcoin was for, part of it. But what else do they have to do? The other thing they have to do is give the appearance of a healthy treasury market. Okay? All we read is about all these countries dumping treasuries and the BRICS and all that stuff. But how would you give the appearance of a healthy treasury market? How would the West, if they're manipulating the gold and precious metals prices and keeping them down, they would also want to manipulate treasuries and make sure that that market looks healthy, like they've got plenty of buyers. How would you do that? Well, I have a theory. I think I know exactly a big part of the way that they're doing that. And it has everything to do with crypto. And I'm about to show you in DAIXRP.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family. You want to see what is really going on in the lead up to this great reset or this changeover in the financial system? Come on in here and let's take a look. Here we go.